astounding. All of this is coming despite a deadly crackdown and mass arrest by authorities after the death of 22-year-old Mahsa Amini. And happening right now across the world and here in the United States as well, a number of demonstrations in solidarity with those protesting in Iran as well. Joining me is Bahar Ghandehari from Middle East Matters and Roya Rastegar, founder of the Iranian Diaspora Collective. Welcome to you both, guys. Thanks for joining us on this. Roya, let me just start with you on this one and talk to me about the significance of the burning of Khomeini's ancestral home, right? He was the founder of the Islamic Republic. He was the leader of that movement in 1979. What does that say to you about the mindset of protesters now in Iran and the fight they have ahead?
Yeah, this is we're entering the third month of protests now, and protests are around 150 different cities. People in Iran feel like they have nothing left to lose. Yeah. Kids are being murdered, students are being murdered, protesters, almost 17,000 protesters have been arrested. People are angry and they want a total regime change, and they will not stop until that happens. And the fear is starting to, they've gone past the point of fear even. So you see men and women holding hands with women without their hair being covered. You see women riding bicycles with their hair uncovered. I saw a photograph yesterday of two girls kissing in the streets with
things you would have never seen just a couple of months ago in Iran. For
and
fear
things
of
that are
all
punishable by, things that will definitely get you arrested and possible have you executed. Yeah. So I think at this point they are doing these extraordinary acts of courage and bravery, and that's what I think when I see the home of Khomeini being burned, his childhood home being burned.
Bahar, it's amazing because you're 22 years old, you're studying here in the United States. You lived in Iran just a couple of years ago. You left when you were a teenager. Yeah. You started this Instagram, Middle East Matters. You have over 100,000 followers, I believe. What does it mean to you to watch your friends, your family in Iran putting their lives on the line every day in the streets, knowing that could be you?
You know, I think every Iranian who's outside the country right now has this guilt that they should be there. They should be protesting with them. And we have this guilt of, oh my God, we're here and we have so much freedom here. What can we do for them? And that's why you see Iranians every weekend, thousands of people on the streets protesting in solidarity with people inside the country. And, my generation is leading this revolution in Iran. And that's so significant because we are extremely tech savvy. And that's why this revolution has been able to reach an international audience. The videos, the photos, the testimonies you're receiving from Iran, despite all the crackdown, despite the internet restrictions and the shutdown, young people have found ways to connect with the outside world. And this connection is the reason they're fighting, because they know the freedoms that they're being deprived of.
That's what I think is so incredible, because all of these protests happening over the last 2 decades, right? Many of them fizzled out because of fear, because of the crackdowns, and also because technology was just not there, right? And now we are seeing not only the Iranians in Iran continuing to protest, right, Bahar, but because of the images that you're putting out on your Instagram and other people as well, continuing to fight here as well. How important is that to this movement?
It's so extremely important for people to continue to amplify this protest and for world leaders to not ignore it. It is so, we were talking about how important it is for world leaders to recognize this revolution, because as much as it was important for us to recognize that Russia's attack on Ukraine was an invasion, it is important to recognize that this is a revolution, not a protest, because as you said, they're burning down the house of the founding member of this regime.
Yeah, mind-blowing.
Yeah,
mind-blowing.
They don't want this regime. We're asking for another government. Yeah. We're asking for democracy and freedom. We're not asking for reform. Yeah, and that's so significant.
If you were unsure as to whether or not it seemed protesters wanted a change in government in their country, that there seems like the signal that they do in burning down Khomeini's home. What else needs to be done, Roya, as you're watching all of this take place? What does the international community need to be doing?
I think governments, one by one, to echo what Bahar was saying, one by one, governments need to recognize this as a revolution. It is really important to call this a revolution. It's no longer a series of protests. Also, governments need to recall their ambassadors and close their embassies that are in Iran and really put to shame this regime in a very public way. The regime needs to feel the pain of the alienation.
What does that look like, put to shame this regime? What does that look like to you?
I think freezing the assets of members of the regime who are living in the U.S. There are members of the regime who are living here in California, and who have been given visas. Those visas need to be recalled. And just as President Macron did last week, he stood by Iranian women who have been part of this revolution. He recognized this as a revolution. And I think governments one by one need to do that. Also, all eyes right now are on what's happening this coming Thursday at the UN. And 47 member states need to vote to, at the very basic minimum, trigger an investigative mechanism into the human rights crimes that are happening in Iran by this regime.
Bahar, I know when you leave the studio, you're going to head to the protests that are happening here in Los Angeles. What does it mean to you to stand side by side with Iranians in the streets of Los Angeles, along with Americans as well, men, women in solidarity?
I think I've never seen Iranians abroad unified this beautifully, and that's a lot. That says a lot. This regime has drove out a lot of Iranians from their country, and now they're rising up outside the country. And for non-Iranians to also stand with us and to ask the American government and their governments abroad, European governments, to take action, it means a lot, because, the Islamic Republic is a threat not just to Iran, but to everyone in this world. They're a threat to Syrians, to Ukrainians, to the national security of America. So if we are really scared of this regime, we need to stand with the Iranian people.
Bahar, Ghandehari, thank you. Roya, Rastegar, thank you guys as well, and good luck.